welcome to another episode of Chatty Broads with Becca and Jess.
Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year, dear Broad.
Planet Earth and Broad Squad.
Happy birthday to you. Happy New Year, Broads. Oh, that's the sound.
Crisp. Straight into this new year.
I will say this is the 70 calorie White Claw. Definitely not an accident and not hitting nearly as good.
Not hitting nearly as good.
3.7% alcohol.
I love my calories, dude.
I'm like, dude, it's so worth the extra 30 calories to get the full flavor, the full power.
I'm trying to K-Cal.
Cheers. Happy New Year, dude. K-Cal.
I'm trying to K-Cal, bro.
How was your New Year's?
My New Year's was, God, what did I even do? New Year's was not eventful, but very nice. I just hung out at my parents' house.
Sick.
Yeah, they
With
were.
the kids and the lady
yeah,
and
the
everything?
kids were up there. We dropped the kids off the day before for some reason I can't remember, and then we needed to go back up there, and we were just like, whatever. I don't care about New Year's. And we stayed up. I made a puzzle with my mom and my brother.
Whoa.
And that's what we did. Oh, and then we did tarot. We got my mom tarot cards
cool.
for Christmas, and so then we all sat up and did a tarot. Me, Becca, my brother Abel, and my mom.
So when you do the puzzle,
Yeah.
is it like you sit there and you bust the puzzle? Like, so who brings the puzzle out?
Oh my god!
I'm just curious.
I've never
puzzles. I haven't done a puzzle
My
since I was
family-
5, so I'm just really curious on like how this even started.
We've always done puzzles around the holidays.
Wow.
It's not unique.
You guys
to
are
me.
like the 1950s family.
My friend's family does the same thing. What up, Golans? And then
Shout out Golans.
shout out Golan family. And then my mom just busts. It's just a holiday thing.
Mom
it's
does
fun.
it. Mom does
Mom
it. Okay.
busts it out.
Yeah,
she
it's
likes
sweet.
it.
It's very
She'll never
sweet.
finish it, but it ends up like we always end up doing it all together. It's
So
one of those
it's
funny
a conjoining
things.
thing.
Yeah.
And you guys are drinking and talking, and it's just it's a way
Exactly.
to not be. It's a way to bring everyone together, but you're not like watching TV or something shit like that.
Now, this is some shit about puzzles that really I'm confused by and I don't understand.
Okay.
People framing their puzzles.
Like an accomplishment, like a diploma.
Yeah.
It's like, wait a second, this is a 2-hour deal.
So this
is
wasn't
not-
like this was like 1,000, like 750 or 1,000 piece puzzle, but it wasn't like
I don't know that on the scale of difficulty. Is that hard?
it's 1,000 tiny little pieces. that you
Right,
just
but I'm
build
not
up.
aware of like is that normal?
I don't know, dude.
Okay.
So this is what a guy
Like a coffee table
what's
size kind of
funny-
vibe?
So the woman who like works with my mom is like worked with our family forever. She came in and saw that and she was like, "Oh, are you guys gonna frame it?" And we were like,
You're like, no.
What are you
Like-
talking about? And then they needed their internet worked on, and the internet guy came in and he's like, "Oh, cool! Like you guys are doing a puzzle, like like how are you gonna frame it?" And I've seen people do this, and I just like don't understand. Like, why would I frame
Like
it?
it's a toy.
People will schlack them so that they like all stick together, and then like mount them and frame them like photos or like
This is a
thing,
toy.
like, yeah, an accomplishment. But
And it's
some
not even
people
like an
feel-
original piece of art. It's not even like I quilted a pillow. So now the pillow's a gift and it's
Mm-hmm.
like I made something it's like I put an IKEA piece of furniture together and now I framed the IKEA furniture.
So
It's like
you're-
it's made to be put
That
together.
would actually be tight. That'd be hard.
a big glass
'Cause, yeah.
cage.
But so we're like, I'm glad you're as confused as I am.
I'm very confused because it's meant to be put together and it's built as an adult toy. So there's not even like an originality to it. You know what the end result's going to be. It's not like you bought a print. It's like
No puzzle's
literally
really an adult toy. All toys sort of like, I feel like when they become adult toys, it's like 12 and up.
That's right. Okay,
Like
yeah.
if you can buy,
Right.
if you can buy like
Right.
any video game, you can build any puzzle.
Exactly.
You know, there's sort of,
And it's like the thing's meant to be put together. Like it's not like it's not even like a Rubik's cube where it's like it'd be
It's
really
really
hard.
difficult
It's
to
like
solve.
it's
Yeah, it's a
literally
challenge.
meant for old ladies to
it's
put together.
meant to be solved.
Yeah, so it's not even like
Exactly.
Right.
The idea is they designed it so that if you buy it, you can do it.
Yeah. And by the way, here's the finished product on the front.
Yeah.
So
And
they
there's
already
a
know
cheat
what-
sheet.
yeah, there's a
you
cheat
have a
sheet.
cheat sheet on how to organize
Right.
it. That's what
So it's not like really an accomplishment. It means that you just stayed with it long.
That's exactly. You stuck with it's a stick to itness.
Right.
That's what's in puzzles. And that might be worth framing. I don't know.
Here's what I will say about
I've never understood it though.
Here's what I like about the puzzle, even though I haven't done one since I was 5 years old.
It's really nice. It was relaxing.
What I like about it is it's simple. In regards to like, you're not like using technology. You're not doing something super complex. You're doing something simple and menial and slow. And I think the slowing down is really nice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, never in a billion years would I bust out a puzzle. But I guess if I was at like someone's house and someone's mom was like, we're going to do this now, I'm forced into it, I would find myself actually in the middle of it being like, this is actually nice to kind of calm the brain down.
I have a problem so my biggest issue is if I start, I have a really hard time stopping because it's infuriating for me to see an unfinished puzzle. It really bothers me. So I have to sit down and do it. Like if I read a book and I decide I don't like the book, I will finish the book.
Wow.
Because it like irks me to have an unfinished. If I read another book, I feel guilty, like I'm cheating on the other book.
Interesting.
Even though I don't like it, I like made a commitment to that book to finish it.
Interesting.
Yeah. I have a problem with that.
I will walk away from a puzzle so fast. It's unbelievable. Like if someone's like, actually, the stakes here, I'm like, cool. We're done with this.
I will sacrifice actually important commitments that I've made in my life, things that actually affect my life, to finish the puzzle.
Okay.
I'll be like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to make this meeting.
Right.
I'm not going to do it. I won't be able to show up to this.
Because the puzzle. You know what you mean?
I just have this thing. I would rather do it. It's a procrastinator in me where I'm like, this is more fun. And it's
it's the procrastinator in you
it's not anxiety inducing.
Yeah.
You know what? Okay, here's something I want to talk to you about.
Okay.
I heard you guys were talking shit about my feelings about anxiety when Becca came in to record the other day. She said she was on the phone with me and that you guys were laughing about me being like, you know what? I took a little bit of Xanax and I was very anxious and then I felt fantastic. And now I'm kind of interested in some anti-anxiety stuff because it's going to calm me down. And you know what? I felt significantly better zanned out.
Okay.
Not zanned out.
First of all, why am I included in this?
Because she mentioned your name in particular.
What'd she say?
I wonder if Becca has
give me some clarity. I feel like she does. Give me some clarity.
She said I was bringing it up, and she said even Evan and Jess were laughing.
See, there it is.
Fucked up.
There it is. So think about what's going on here.
I don't appreciate it.
No. You need to read through the lines here. She wants allies on her point that she's trying to get through.
She does.
So she's taking bits to prove to you more that her idea is
point
correct.
Is right. She said you were laughing about me saying like she said that that you were like, of course he feels calmer. He's on Xanax,
which is a very valid point.
It's extremely valid, and I did feel calmer. I felt better.
I didn't say he shouldn't take Xanax. What I was saying was like anyone who says I was anxious, then I took a Xanax, and then I didn't feel anxious anymore. That is literally what it was made to do.
He's like a miracle.
That's what I'm saying. So that's all that happened was me agreeing with what you said. I agreed with made sense.
By the way, guys, just so we're clear here. We're not talking about popping bars or whatever the kids say. This was a controlled self-medication experiment where I just borrowed some Xanax from a friend and just took it, and it was fucking awesome.
And you're just trying to kind of like, you were feeling anxious and you took a little bit to kind of calm the nerves, and it helped.
Dude, I'm noticing, so like as we're going through, so like going back to me and you starting therapy.
Yeah.
One of the things that's coming up a lot is like what is the reason that I do seek these procrastination things like puzzles or like.
Interesting. Is that like a thing you feel like you run into?
All the time.
So endlessly. Like you will put off important tasks and do menial tasks as a way. So I remember that was like in college, people would like clean their room the night before a final.
Fucking
and it was like,
anything, dude.
Just why are you cleaning? Like you studying, right? But like there's something about that process of like, I'd rather clean my room than study for an hour,
dude. I have
to change my life or fail my entire course. Like, isn't that funny?
I had this thought that I was like, I'm gonna send all of my investors holiday cards.
Right.
I wrote all the holiday cards.
Never sent it.
Put them in envelopes. They've been in my tote bag to send for like 3 weeks. I was supposed to send them
you and
before
Becca are very
Christmas.
similar that way, right? I feel like both
Super
you guys
similar
are
that
like
way.
it gives you
Easy
anxiety.
shit, a crazy anxiety to put it in the mail and be like, they're gonna open a holiday card for me, and then then I'll be on their mind and they're gonna be like, hey, how's everything going? And then I'm gonna have to answer their question about like how the business. Hopefully they just. I'm like,
you don't want to send it to their friends. Like, where's my fucking money? You're like, that's the real problem.
even though I'm doing tax returns and shit, because I'm like, I have to do the tax returns. You don't want the IRS on you. But that's literally the thought. That's how irrational.
All you do is tell them that you were cleaning your room, and then they don't care. They go, no problem.
That's how irrational I am, though. So I'm talking to this person. So I got recommended to this psychiatrist who's doing like, he deals with people who are like entrepreneurs or running their own businesses and balancing family life and these things with that. But me and him are talking a lot about these like anxiety causes, for, like basically just that I'm realizing I have really high anxiety.
Got it.
And now I'm talking to Beck about it, where I was like, you know what? I took a little bit of this stuff, and you know what? My anxiety went away, and now I like it. And she's like, why don't you work on yourself? And And I'm like, I don't want to fucking meditate. And she's like, I didn't say that you had to meditate. And I'm like, I just want to take a pill and have it all be over.
Well, the quote of the year.
Simple.
The quote of the year from Grayston is, why would I go to therapy? There's nothing wrong.
There's nothing wrong.
I mean, it's just one of the greatest quotes.
Look at all the things I'm discovering are wrong.
Yeah.
The moment I started therapy.
You know what's interesting about that?
Okay, broads, interrupting the bros for a moment. Listen, I don't care who you are. We all can agree that not sleeping enough or getting sleep that is less than amazing just stinks, okay? If I don't get the right amount of rest at night, well, I'm a bit of a nightmare. It's just the truth. And unfortunately, I used to not get enough rest way more often than not, thanks to an ancient mattress I was sleeping on that just did not cut it. But ever since I switched to Helix, I've been having, let me say this, the best sleep of my life.
Helix knows that every body is different, so they've created several different mattress models to choose from based on you and the way you sleep. So to get started, all you have to do is take their 2-minute sleep quiz that matches your body type and sleep preference to your perfect mattress. The quiz is going to ask you things like how many people sleep in the bed, what position do you prefer to sleep in, how do you want your mattress to feel, etc. All these things are going to help the team at Helix determine which mattress is best for you. I
took the quiz and was matched with the Helix Dusk, which is perfect for sleeping on your stomach and back, which is how my husband and I, we tend to both sleep like that. So it's perfect for us. And also it's medium firmness, which it's not too firm, but it's also not too soft. So we sink in. I am telling you, broads, I have never fallen asleep faster, stayed asleep longer, or woken up feeling better than I have since I started sleeping on that Helix mattress.
Helix is offering up to $200 off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners at helixsleep.com/chatty. That's helixsleep.com/chatty for up to $200 off and free pillows.
Most of us, Becca and I included, are in our active wear more often than not. Even when no activity is on the schedule, it's fine. No yoga pants slander here. But what we are here to tell you is that if you're going to be living in leggings and crop tops like us, you can make them great. I cannot stop wearing my Girlfriend Collective sets. Like, seriously, I cannot stop. If you're on the hunt for your new favorite activewear brand, look no further than Girlfriend Collective.
Girlfriend Collective is the sustainable, ethically made activewear we can't get enough of for a lot of reasons. Not only are the products amazing, I cannot get enough of their best-selling leggings. They come in 5 different levels of support, and they have pockets. They're also available in sizes ranging from extra, extra small to 6XL. I've put mine to the test working out, running errands, lounging on the couch. I can confidently say there is nothing these leggings aren't perfect for.
She's not exaggerating at all. Out of all the athleisure I own, and trust me, there's a lot, I am constantly reaching for my Girlfriend Collective pieces. They are the best. And another reason to love Girlfriend Collective products, they're sustainable and good for the planet. Girlfriend Collective turns plastic bottles and other plastic waste that would typically end up in a landfill and turns it into something new to wear. So join the collective today and feel good about what you buy and comfortable in what you wear. And it's so cute.
Yes. For listeners of the show, Girlfriend Collective is offering $25 off your purchase of $100 or more when you go to girlfriend.com/chatty. That's $25 off $100 or more when you go to girlfriend.com/chatty. That is girlfriend.com/chatty.
What? Tell me, how's your journey?
So going to therapy has been actually amazing for me. Like, it's been really deconstructing some stuff, really helping me deal with anxiety, depression, things that pop up in life, and also just really helping me kind of deconstruct like why I have these tendencies and these like instincts that I don't like. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But one thing it has done is it opened me up more, and I find myself a little bit more emotional and a little bit more sensitive.
Yeah, see, last time
and
we
it's
were
like
saying-
it's a part of the journey, but I noticed it's like, whoa, I used to be a little more numb, and now I'm a little more like,
Don't you miss it though? That's what you were
No.
saying last time. You were like, last time
ignorance is bliss.
yeah, you were like, I miss being just like a wall, like a brick wall, and just
Yes
numb
and
to the
no,
world.
because like you do, when you do have the brick wall, you then end up, the depression can set in. Versus like, I almost would rather have the ups and the downs more, because then at least I feel a little more alive.
So how's your relationship with Jess as a result
Better.
of this? Better?
Significantly better.
Okay, so something that's pissing me off a lot in my relationship,
Yeah.
Becca keeps fucking talking about crushes.
Mm.
You know, she rode home from a party the other night with her crush. You were at that party. You let her get in that car with that guy.
Dude, I don't let Becca do anything. Becca is the captain of her own ship. I saw that happen, and I was like, oh.
I don't want to know anything about this guy, by the way. But Becca was like, we were talking about it, and it was like, she was joking, like, okay, when you leave this party,
Yeah.
she's like, by the way, do you care if I like flirt with some guys or whatever? And I was like,
Yeah.
no, like, what the fuck, like, as if you going to. And then she's like, which also, by the way, this guy, let's just talk about this. He drove her home, and they talked about all the stuff I don't want to talk about with her.
Oh, yeah, baby. That's why they got him out there, baby.
He's all engaged.
Into the shit you could care less
He
about
gave her
she
a ride home.
loves.
How far away is Long Beach from where this party was? You tell them, because I'm bad at I'll always exaggerate. 45 minutes?
Maybe 30,
50 minutes?
30 to 40
somewhere
minutes,
between
let's say.
35 and 50 minutes.
Yes.
So this guy's got
Not,
anywhere.
not long.
It's a minimum hour 10 to hour and a half turnaround.
Well, you know what's worse than...
So this guy lives in LA.
It's funny because I was next to her when this all happened. And then I look at her and and then she goes, I texted Gray and I said, is it cool if I take a ride with this guy or whatever? And he goes, sure. And then she, like, it was like, that's all I needed. I got the word sure. Because she went sure. And she goes, thanks, babe. And I was like, I don't think that's a good sure. I don't think that's like a have fun sure. I think that's like a... I don't know what else to say.
I
here.
literally didn't actually think. I thought she was talking about
Like
the Uber
joking.
driver.
Like my buddy, the
I
Uber
thought she
driver.
was joking around, being like, "Do you care if I get
you
a ride
thought it
home
was an
with her?"
actual
I didn't
joke.
think he was an actual human.
You didn't think it was an actual
not a
real
guy who's
thing.
getting paid to drive her all the way to Long Beach.
Or you thought it was like maybe she was just pulling your leg, being like, you mind if I drive home with this guy? And she's just
like
fucking with
painting
you.
it as if it's the Uber.
But it's really just an Uber driver.
Yeah. So anyway, though, so when she gets home and she tells me all this, and I was like, wait, is it okay? Whatever. And I was like, did you kiss him? And she's like, no. And I was like, so this guy drove you all the way down here to Long Beach, and now he's driving all the way back to LA, and you didn't even kiss him? And she was like, no. And I was like, what a simp. I was like, I would never, ever, if I had a crush, first, if I had a crush on someone and they were flirting with me the entire time, and then I just like dropped him off at home,
Right.
and then I just like drove back in my car 40 minutes, whatever, I would just be like, wait, what did I just do?
Okay.
For what?
Okay, let me say this.
Why did I do that?
Okay, let me ask you this question.
Why didn't I do anything about it?
Right. Let me ask you this question. Is there a world where two people just have a lot in common, are chatting, but no one would ever act on anything knowing the dynamic?
It's called the friend zone.
Sure. Either way, though. Like, let's say I have a friend. I'm married.
Yeah.
And my friend's girlfriend, let's just say this is the case. No, let's say I have a single friend and I'm married, so I won't do anything. Let's just say this is the case. And we just have a really fun time talking, and I do kind of find her attractive, and nothing, we both know it's just kind of friendship, but we just really have a lot in common. We talk a lot.
What's her name?
What?
What's her name?
Well, I'm trying to get on this level. What I'm saying is, like, is there a world where, like, you have a friend that's a girl that you find attractive, but you just both know, like, you won't go there, but it's fun to kind of just talk to a person that is kind of have a lot in common and they're not bad to look at. You know what I'm saying? Like, is there a world where, like, that is a thing? I don't know. I'm asking the question.
I literally am like, so this is where my anxiety kicks in. If an attractive girl starts talking to me in public, I'll literally just be
Get away from me. Get away from me.
Pretty much, dude. I'm sort of like, I'll like start looking around somewhere else and be like,
Yeah.
I've got to go.
Right.
I've got to go. I can't engage with you.
Okay, got it.
Because the moment I start doing, I'm like feel insanely guilty.
Got it. Okay, so this is...
But there's like a thing where I'm also like, then there's a problem where it's like, I know if I don't stop it, Like when I was in Oaxaca.
Do you feel like you won't be able to control yourself?
No.
Okay, so is it?
Because I'm like, because these are things where it's like it's going against base carnal nature that I've been so aware of in myself that I've just been like actively suppressing for years.
That's what I'm saying. You feel like you can't control yourself.
Well, sort of, but I mean, yeah, yes and no. I
you
mean,
feel like it'll get out of control if you let the flirting happen?
I don't think it's if I let the flirting happen. For instance, if I put myself in the situation Becca put herself in,
yes,
I would probably make regrettable choices.
You feel like at least a kiss or something happens.
Yeah.
At least I'm saying.
Yeah.
You just feel like you could see if you.
I know I've just been like, I don't know, I'm not good. I just want to have a good time.
Right.
I want to have a good time. I'm not good. Like if I relate it to like being at a party and I have responsibilities the next day and someone's like, do you want to party more? Just like, yeah, I do.
Right.
And I'll deal with the consequences later.
Right. We've talked about this, which is one of your funniest
and
bits.
So
yeah, I love this.
like, I don't do well in those situations.
You don't do well in like, you're like, hey, I got to set myself up for success. Cause if I don't in the moment, I might not have the willpower to whatever.
Yeah.
But what if she has the willpower?
Well, I mean, I guess
clearly she does.
She clearly does. Or this, I mean, like,
so you're saying maybe so that's the fear. I don't want to put in, maybe she doesn't, and this guy just didn't capitalize.
Yes,
got it.
Yes,
that's right. That's the real fear. You're like, is she willing? But then he didn't go for it, so then it didn't happen.
Exactly.
Right, but if he was down, would it have happened? Okay, so
she's.
Is this something you think you could ever turn the corner on? I dated a girl
who was dating someone else at the same time. And I knew about it.
Epic content for the podcast if you ever turn that corner.
So we had a big argument about this over holidays. Over
she
Christmas.
kept bringing it up.
Not that she kept bringing it up. We had an argument about something else, and I brought it up of like, where are my comforts actually?
Got it.
Because there's things where I was like, if you introduce it as an ultimatum, where it's like, we're either together and this is the contingency, or we're not together.
Oh, right.
I'm like, well, fuck, I don't care.
Right, I don't like that
because
feeling.
I'm also hedging a bet in that agreement of like, do I think you're ever actually going to do this?
Or is this just kind of you're keeping me on my toes and it's kind of fun to talk about?
Yeah, who knows? Right. But then it was like, after that, I was like, hey, like, I sort of want to know where these lines are of like, what exactly is it that you're really looking for? That's a whole different thing. But I know from my emotional side of it is like, when I dated a girl who was actively dating another person.
Oh, really? So you've been in an open relationship?
Yeah, but not with like a person I have kids with or like whatever.
It was like a loose dating
thing. We were dating, but we were like, I mean, it wasn't like loose, like we were like fully dating.
Pretty serious.
But she had this other boyfriend that I knew about before I started dating her. So I was kind of like, that's tight, because it's also like, you're the new guy.
So you felt like the other man.
Pretty much.
Which felt cooler than being...
Felt cool. I was also
now you're on the other end and you're like, wait a second, I was also
seeing her a lot.
So you felt
I was like, you're only seeing this guy like once a week.
You felt
or
like
so.
the badass that's like stealing the girl away.
A little bit. But then I was also like, I don't really care if you hang out with him. I just am like, I don't want to see his face.
Ignorance is bliss.
I don't want to like know anything about him or who he is. And I never want to meet him or be in the same room.
Got it.
Those were like, and I was like, these seem to be like pretty reasonable criteria to put in place.
Don't ask, don't tell.
All that fell apart when I was in the same room and met the person. He had no idea who I was. I knew exactly who he was the moment he like...
But he didn't know about you?
Didn't know anything about me.
But did he know that she was dating somebody else?
No.
Oh, so that's not an open relationship. It's called cheating. She was cheating
whatever
with
you want to call it.
She was cheating with
whatever you want to call it.
That's not an open relationship.
We're not talking about that. We're talking about me knowing. We're not talking about her narrative. We're talking about my narrative and my experience.
In my heart.
And that was an open relationship for me.
She was seeing
someone else.
You're absolutely right.
Seeing someone else. She was welcome to do that. That's an open relationship. I was fine with it as long as I was completely in the dark about all things him. And then when I met him, it was like, okay, I'm going to try to be cool.
Was he nice?
I'm going to try to play it cool. He was extremely nice and he was hilarious.
Did it feel weird?
He was extremely nice. He was cool. I wanted to be his friend and he was nice. And that really upset me.
Yeah, you felt
bad.
bad.
So then I left.
Good.
And then all my friends enjoyed him. And I was like, that sucks.
This is brutal.
Whatever. The worst part was just having a memory of his face. I still see his face. And then we met up later and we were talking about it. And then we started kissing, and I was like, fuck, dude, like I can't get his face out of my head.
Whoa.
I can't get it out. And I was like, I just kept thinking
it was
about
like the movie when you like when you're kissing and then you open your eyes and the face is that her face is his face.
Almost exactly that. And it was like problematic. And after like within the week of that happening, I was just like,
it's too late.
I can't do this.
You felt too bad.
I was just like, I can't do this. I can't do this anymore.
I think that's good.
So I have a friend, my friend just started an open relationship with his girlfriend. And they've been together for like years. So we were kind of talking about it of like breaking down these old constructs of like, what are relationships? Where did these constructs come from? Where are these pressures we put on ourselves? Where are the boundaries? How much do we actually believe in these things?
Right.
I know I don't believe in them. But then there's this other
some sort
side
of weird
of me.
bond or whatever.
No, because it's like the moment that I'm put in the position of like, if a girl that I'm attracted to, who it's very clear is attracted to me,
right,
and we're bonding on like, she's laughing at my jokes, I'm laughing at her jokes, we're enjoying our time together. She wants to kiss me, or I want to kiss her, and that is initiated and it's met and well received. There is no fucking way I am going to stop myself. Just knowing myself from other things, I won't be able to. That's why I'm like, I will avoid that situation at all costs.
I see.
But that goes against this side of me that like is aware that because I know that's in me, I don't necessarily think it's wrong.
Right, of course not.
I don't think it's wrong for some, but then it's also like, I also am aware of how I am like.
Well, desire isn't wrong, right? Just what you do with it is the only thing that can be wrong.
These are irrational. This is the thing is like, I have this acting. I had back when I was an actor.
Oh, an actor
with
a U.
Yeah,
got it.
And and I in the theater.
Yeah, theater.
And
with an RE. Got it. Yeah.
The teacher was just basically like, we're always trying to analyze these situations logically, and he's like, our emotions are the most illogical thing in the entire world, and our reactions to situations are wildly illogical. So like, no matter how we map this out, of like, yes, I understand monogamy to me is this construct I don't actually believe in.
Right.
My emotional response to like it's recognizing I think about my relationship as my thing and someone else has my thing. I'm not down with that.
Possession.
Yeah, I'm possessive of my things. Even with the kids.
Right.
Ruth, I was like, I don't like it if you touch my things.
Right.
Sat her down and explained this. I was like, I sat her on my lap and I calmed her down.
She touches back. That's my girl.
I was like, she like tore a book cover, and I was literally like, this book, that's Dad's book. There's no pictures. Don't ever touch it. Cool. Go play with your brother.
I hope you understand this for the rest of your life.
This, yeah.
So where were we?
Well, you were asking me what's my line? What's my comfort line with if Becca actually wants to pursue this?
Can you round that corner? Do you feel?
I don't know. I won't know till we go there.
Okay, that's an interesting. But so let's back this up. Would you be willing to go there?
I don't know. Would you? Okay, I know Becca told me her and Jess have been talking all about their crushes. Jess has some man crush. How do you feel? Let's flip this.
I'm just all about whatever she wants,
Yeah, fuck you are.
Okay, yeah. Let's talk about this.
Mr. Hockey.
What's that?
Hockey's an aggressive sport.
Mr. Hockey out of the clouds. Where did that even come from?
It's how my mom is, dude.
Mr. Hockey.
My mom will come. It shows
10 years ago. Okay. To be honest with you, I'm a little bit afraid of something.
Okay.
First of all, the jealousy, the fear of being uncontrollably hurt by what we're talking about.
Yeah.
What I'm also afraid of is like, when I think about it, I guess how it would play out. Are we talking one night stand while on a bachelor party? Or are we talking about, boyfriends, girlfriends? Like that's there's a difference between like dating other people and then like, yo, my brother's getting married. We're going to Miami and we're at a club and I meet a girl, we hook up one night and then I never talk to her again. Like that is a little bit more like fathomable to me. When it comes to the actual more other relationships, that's where I go like, I'm afraid of running away, either of us running to the other person when the other person's not bugging me or frustrating me or whatever. And so then you're just kind of like, I'm afraid of this concept of like, anytime I'm not happy with something that's going on, I can just run away and get what I need from the other person. And then there's this kind of like, I'm afraid that like, and then if over time you're just kind of like, you've been bugging me a lot, then you just kind of fall out of love. And I'm just afraid of like that, what that would do to either of us. And then it could put either of us in a really bad spot. So my fear is like, then if one of us is bugging the other person more than the other, and then where are you going? And then, you know what I mean? Like that is what scares me. I can more fathom the occasional hookup, ignorant hookup, where it's like, if you're somewhere and I don't know about it and no one ever knows, like I can more like put my head around it. You know what I'm saying? But to be honest with you, man, it's so, and it could just be the fact that also I was raised in like a religious home and like all this stuff where it's like, I'm so grained into the monogamy thing. So I've heard that. So this was my kind of monogamy brain trying to dissect this and understand it, right? And that was my fear. I'd run into this. Well, you just run away whenever times get hard, right? Here's the other way that was described to me that I thought was interesting, was like, do you do that with friends? Or do you stick through it with friends? Even though you have multiple friends and you could at any point in time ditch your friend whenever you want if they're bothering you at all. Or do you hash it out with your friend if you really care about them?
I don't have sex with any of my friends.
Yeah, but what I'm saying the difference is like the relationship there of like, if your friend is there and he's bothering you, you don't just say, fuck you, I'm not talking to you until you make me happy again, right? You sit there and you work through it and you say, hey man, what's going on? And like, this bothered me. Let's talk about this. You spend 3 hours and you hash it out. And then 2 days later, you go to breakfast with a different friend.
No.
But there is something to the effect of like, if you truly care about someone, you can truly care about more than one person.
I don't want her to truly care about somebody else.
I'm not saying you should, but what I'm saying is like, if we're going down the train of like logic meeting like constructs and how you should and shouldn't, the monogamy brain and shit, it's like, it does make sense that we are capable to care and spend time and invest in more than one person, just like how we do within life and every other aspect of our lives.
I don't care about any of that shit.
I know, I'm not helping. You were really excited about how I was completely in on your side, and then it came out of nowhere.
No, because I'm also like, that's not what, like, for instance, okay, if you were to cheat, if you were to, I might be assuming here, if you were to have someone outside of Jess,
yeah,
would you be going to that person for emotional needs Jess isn't filling, or would you be going for some, some diddlings? Some
tiddlings and diddlings?
I'm trying to think of the best way to say it without just being
sex.
Yeah, I just want some
like physical stuff, like
a different person,
a different sexual experience.
That.
But here's the thing, though, like
that's what I would. That's like the only thing I could rationalize to be like, because Becca was talking to me about it of like, you have sexual tendencies, and I'm like, yeah, I know that. I've got a playbook. You have a playbook?
No.
You have a playbook. You're different every time.
I mean, no, there's only so many things. I'm not like Adam. I'm not wild with it, but like,
but see, that's what
I would say there
aren't so many things. That's just
right.
us being comfortable
there's
with
different
our approach.
there's different like orders.
Right?
You can like start over here or start doing this way. No, I don't have a playbook, but I know. But if I was to like actually look at my history, I'd be like, oh, I definitely have like my tendencies and moves, like everybody does. Sure.
Absolutely. So she was talking.
And every
to me
person
about
has different tendencies, so I understand that.
I want to have these other things. Like I want to have these other sexual experiences. And when I was like, okay, I have a lot more patience and understanding for that, because I just simply be physical. Like, yeah. I was like, I can totally, and so that's when we were talking about one night stands and all this stuff. I'm like, dude, honestly, like Becca talking about ex-boyfriends doesn't bother me at all.
Right.
Like they're not in the picture. It's whatever.
Yeah.
If it's someone who she's going to recurringly see, that's when I'm like, I'm going to kill that person and then go to prison. Have fun with the consequences. And I'll sit and I'll be a really good dad from jail.
Okay. So
and then if it's like, okay, it's just a one night stand and he does this, like, it was just interesting. Like he looked this way, he talked this way, he has, whatever, you don't, I'd be like, I can understand that. Or if she, whatever, I don't know, whatever. I actually understand that a million times more. I would just be like, cool. But if she's like, yeah, he just like talks to me about this bullshit you don't like, and then he also does these things, I just be like, we're cool, we're done.
Okay, so let me ask you this question. Right, and then
if it was like, are you going to see him again?
Right.
Absolutely not.
Okay. So then I have a question here.
Let's speak of the devil.
Okay. So the list, and then we're moving on.
Yeah.
Because let's ask each other this question.
What's the question?
Open relationship. Okay. You're experimenting with it. Okay. Don't ask, don't tell, but it's a little bit of like, maybe maybe you guys aren't dating other people, but it's kind of like you're just kind of seeing it occasionally, whatever. What's more damaging? You hear on the phone her talking to her friend about the guy. You overhear, oh my God, he is so funny. He's so funny. And he brought up the most interesting point the other day. He brought up and about our personalities and how and science and this and that. And it's like, I never thought about it like that. I just thought to myself, like, wow, what a game changer. Okay. Right? You're sweating already. Or, oh my God, he did this thing to me the other night, rocked my world.
Oh, I'd have way more patience for that.
Okay, so that would be...
You're not even threatened by that whatsoever.
Okay, so if you overheard her talking about some sex move he did that like blew her mind, and she's like, I've never had that done to me before. It was insane. That is a lot more okay than if he was so funny he was like cracking me up.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, okay.
What about you?
I think the sex. I just think because like... me and Jess have been together for so long too, that there's this thing of like, we hang out with other people, we talk, I'm like, you know what I mean? That it's almost like that's the only thing that we like haven't done with someone else in so long. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we've talked to other people, we've hung out with other people, we spent a lot of time with other people, there's been flirting, whatever. So I think hearing that is like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that would be the hardest.
See, that's funny. So I think about sex in the same way I think about drugs, where I'm just like, it's kind of just an experience.
It's not really.
And it's not this thing that's like
your emotions aren't that connected to it. Because I do feel pretty emotionally connected to sex.
They are, I guess, in a way,
but not too much. Where you're saying, yeah, right.
Not in the way where I would be like throwing things away to like pursue this other thing. It's like having your favorite food. You can't have your favorite food all the time. Then it just stops being your favorite food.
Right.
But it's like, hey, you know what? You want to go have that? Cool, go have that. That's cool. I'm not really threatened by that. And it's the same. It's like, it's something, it's just like, I can understand it more because it's more carnal in my realm. Yeah. And it's just more of like, that's what I would be going for. Got it. So therefore I can understand
and you know
it. And
that you could do that and then not be emotionally connected to it. Yeah.
I'm also like, I need to put down some strict boundaries on like relationships of like, they can't be friends with your friends.
Right.
Because now you know what's going to happen.
What?
Anytime she's asking to go hang out with you guys, I'm going to be like, no.
Right. Because you know he might. Yeah, right. I'm going to be like, because
he's friends with Jess. He might be there.
Right.
No.
Right.
No, I'm coming.
Yeah. You should come.
You should let him know that I'm going to be there too. Be like,
she's like, no, I just need a night, you know?
I don't know. That's when it'll just be horribly any guy you introduce me to who's friends with Jess, I'm gonna instantly be
because you don't know who it is.
I'm just gonna like be like, yeah, I'm just gonna be.
Do you know who it is?
No, I have no idea, and I don't want to know.
Oh, okay.
But any guy who's friends with Jess at this point, I'm gonna be incredibly aggressive towards.
Are you a fan of the Lakers? No, I'm just kidding.
The entire Lakers squad.
Yeah, he's a professional athlete. Does that bother you?
I'll be like, oh, that's what you do for work? I heard that's kind of for, I heard that's kind of like a kid's
Wait, you
thing.
only make $20 million a year?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you lame.
Lame, dude. You have no ethics, I guess. You're void of morals. How does it feel to just sap the world of how things gorgeous and beautiful? You make, so you're evil.
Oh, you don't surf? Loser.
Cool for you.
Oh, that was a funny combo, man. I was going to ask you about gifts, but we jumped right into like the heaviness.
Yeah, we passed through
it.
that.
You were like, hey man, I want to get myself.
What I was going to ask you is, do you think if you and Jess broke up, would Ember be an asset for you in dating new women or a liability?
See, here's the thing about this. Jess always
single dad.
Jess always brings that up.
Being like, oh, you're zaddy. Like you're a hot single dad.
See, Jess always brings up the whole like, oh, if we got divorced, it'd be so much better for you because you'd have like, the single dad thing. And I'm going, I go to a park with a kid. I think everyone there thinks if I start hitting on them, like I'm a dirtbag. Because it's like, where's your wife, you piece of shit? You know what I mean? Like, I'd have to get in enough of a conversation with the person. You have to be like, you know what I'm saying?
And then you just never say to me. You just say that on the inside.
Right.
Like, she's dead to me.
He says she's dead.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I'd have to get into a long conversation to explain that we're separated. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I guess for me is I always think like, yeah, in the movies that seems to work, but like realistically, if you roll in and you're like talking to some girl and you're like, so anyway, whatever, like the girl probably immediately just thinks you're a dirtbag, like talking to me while while your wife's somewhere. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I just always think in terms of like, yeah, in a movie that sounds right, but is that actually how it is?
I think it is actually how that is.
Really?
I do actually think that is exactly how it is.
Have you experienced it?
Yes. I've just experienced, I have never had women just come up and talk to me as much as if I'm alone with either or both of the kids.
So they come up to you a lot more.
Absolutely. Just be like, oh my God, she's adorable. Be like, oh, da 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 da, and they want to know her name. Ruth doesn't answer. I don't tell them her name, and then they're like, oh, what's your name?
That's like, you.
Yeah, Grayston.
Where?
They're like, oh, cool. Just like coffee shop, record store. We're just out on the street talking at a restaurant, anywhere I'm alone with the kids. If there's an opportunity and an excuse, just be like, oh, I don't know, something. Especially if it's a place where like there's habitual locations. This has been also, if anyone's dating stuff is all about seeing the same person in multiple locations. That's the easy access. That's the easy access. It's extremely difficult to see someone on the street and then stop them and be like, oh, I just don't want this moment to pass or whatever. That's some shit out of a movie. But I'm telling you, the single dad thing is absolutely real. Absolutely real. But so now my
Jess
question
also
to
has
you,
told me I'm like notoriously bad at knowing when a girl's hitting on me. Like bad. So what she'll like be like, that girl was totally, I'm like, what? Where? I didn't even see her.
You just need to assume they are. Because here's also, okay, so then another dating advice for me. Dating advice. Look, they're getting dating advice. They didn't even realize it.
Hey, free of charge.
If you think they're flirting, I mean, look, flirting, say I'm talking to you. If I'm talking to you, is like whatever we're talking about. We're having just table talk, whatever, just like nonsense conversation. If I'm attracted to you, it's flirting. That's it.
You're saying if
conversation.
You're saying you are attracted to them, they say a word to you, it's flirting.
Dude, simple things of just being like, oh, what did you order? That's flirting.
Well, I would feel that if a girl asked me what did you order,
you're just closed off to it. You're just oblivious.
I think I'm so closed off to it.
Yeah,
I've been in a relationship.
Is so your soulmate. Yeah, and I've been the only woman for you.
And well, no, also I've been in a relationship so long, so locked in that it's just like I'm not like you're only a couple of years in. I'm 10 years in, you know? So it's like, I'm so locked into that brain. My brain doesn't even go there anymore of like awareness of like someone hitting on me.
See, and here I am.
To be honest with you, if I'm being honest, I feel like I get hit on more when I'm alone. Like maybe it's just that I'm with the kids, so I'm not paying attention. But like when I'm with her, Ember, maybe they're just terrified of her. She's like, oh, she's too much. But like I personally will find in moments where I'm like sitting in a line and there's a girl next to me in a line that I will get into a conversation with the girl. When I'm with Ember, I don't really feel that as much.
Ember's personality to me could be like if someone were to walk up and talk to you, she'd be like, who the fuck are you? And like I'm like, Ruth would be like, that's a pretty dress.
Oh,
or something.
So you're saying, like, so does Ruth wingman you a little bit?
I think Ruth and Frank both wingman.
So they're just like, you're Frank's funny. And then all of a sudden it's like, you're right.
Frank would be just like, we wouldn't have to lift a finger. I think Frank could just exist on his own.
Right.
I'm Frank's sidekick.
Got it.
The kid knows, the kid's going places.
Yeah.
He doesn't even talk. He gets everything he wants.
Right.
It's amazing.
Okay, broads, interrupting the bros once more. Listen, if you are a small business owner, then you already know there is nothing more valuable than time, okay? When we were starting Chatty Broads, I remember feeling like I didn't even have enough time to make coffee in the morning because there's always just something to do. So this year, stop wasting your valuable time on things you don't need to do, like going to the post office. With Stamps.com, there's an easier way.
With Stamps.com, everything you would normally do at the post office, you can do from your home computer in a fraction of the time. You need to send out invoices? No problem. You need to ship orders from your Etsy shop? Of course. Run a full-blown warehouse, shipping out daily packages? Even that can be done simply with the help of Stamps.com. All you need is a computer and a printer. You're ready to go. You can compare shipping rates, print labels, and even schedule pickups in minutes from your home computer.
Not only is Stamps.com super convenient and going to save you so much time, it will also save you money. With Stamps.com, you can get access to discounts that you can't even get at the post office, like discounted rates from USPS and UPS and deals on postage. If you spend any time at all at the post office, you need to make the switch to Stamps.com today.
Save time and money with Stamps.com. There's no risk. And with our promo code, CHATTY, you get a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus free postage and a digital scale. No long-term commitments or contracts. Just go to Stamps.com, click on the mic at the top of the homepage, type in CHATTY. That's Stamps.com, promo code CHATTY. Stamps.com, never go to the post office again.
Well, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's just, and I'm also like,
it's something, you know, anyway. You got to think about it. You got to have these. All these
I'm gonna turn my antenna on a little more.
With all these talks about open conversation, you got to think about the exit strategy, the game plan.
That's true.
Have
plan B.
I'm getting back to the triple burner situation, dude, where you got one thing going, you got to have two other burners on the fire. You got to have two things warming up. You got to get out of there. You can't be never get hurt.
Never get hurt. Never open yourself up to hurt.
Never shed a tear. Never get hurt.
Be a man.
Yeah, exactly.
Be a man.
Never be sad.
Right.
Being sad for not happy people.
For not tough.
Yeah, being sad for just unhappy, untough people.
Oh my God, this is insane. Now I kind of want to go take Ember out for a stroll.
See what happens.
Oh, you know what?
Start testing this out.
You know what?
More.
I did get hit on the other day.
Spend time with your daughter more.
I did get. Maybe that's it. I don't ever talk to her.
Start being a better dad.
You know, it's funny you say that. I haven't seen her in weeks. Maybe that's a part of the problem.
I haven't seen her. This is this huge part of the equation that I'm missing.
Where is she right now?
Dude, Ruth said the most guilty shit to me. She goes, so I left for work at like 9:30 this morning after being up with her since like 7 a.m. And then I get home at 5:30 and I'm preparing dinner. I'm making dinner with her. I'm playing with her and Frank a little bit. And we're getting everything together. And I was like, okay, baby, like, I'm going to read you this book. And then I've got to get ready to go to Uncle Evan's house. And I'm going to go do some work over there. And she goes, but you just got here.
Right. Where have you been my whole life?
But you just got here.
What do you do even anyways?
And I was literally like,
yeah, she felt horrible.
No more podcasts, no more anything. I was like, I'm never leaving the home again. Never leaving ever again.
You want to hear the opposite of that?
Yeah, go.
Want to hear the fucking opposite of that, bro?
I can't wait for her to get older. Just tell me. Tell me what I have to look forward to.
Christmas. Okay? All the cousins are there. Ember is talking to multiple of the cousins about something. My mom overhears them talking and just kind of peeks in. I'm not aware of any of this. I'm in the other room. Peeks in. Then she comes and tells me, you know what I just heard Ember say? Ember was holding court, teaching the kids on how to get out of school. She goes, yeah, you know what I do is when I want to get out of school, I fake like I'm sick. I tell the teacher, and then the teacher has to call mom and dad, and they have to pick me up. Yeah, they get mad, but they get over it. She's telling this to all the cousins.
Genius.
And we were under this assumption that she was just actually hurt because we were like, Ember, you can't do that. And she's like, yeah, you're right. Like, I'm sorry. I was sick. What can I do?
Genius.
And we knew she was doing it, but she would never cop to it. And then she's holding court being like, oh, this is what I do. Yeah, they get mad, but then they get over it.
Genius.
I could
utterly
not
genius.
Believe.
I can't laugh because I'm like, I'm just like, I'm with her.
You're like,
on
that's what I would say.
And I got caught stealing from my parents.
Right.
When I was in high school to buy weed or something,
Mm-hmm.
stealing from them, like stealing money out of their wallet. And they were like, how could you do this? how could you do this? And I was like, what are you talking about?
I took it out.
And they were like, do you know no boundaries?
Right.
Do you know, like, what are you going to do
you
if you go into a
evil?
store? I was like, why the fuck would I steal from a store? I was like, I could get arrested.
Right.
I was like, what are you going to do? Call the cops? You're going to call the cops
That would
on
actually
me?
be great.
He was like, what? And I was like, I'm never going to go up to people. Like, I'm not going to go steal stuff from other people.
Right.
I was like, you're my mom and dad.
Right.
I was like,
Because they're
obviously,
suckers.
whatever. Yeah,
Right.
I was like, yes, I stole from you. You're gonna ground me, whatever. It was a bad thing. I do feel guilty about it. I went behind your back, all that shit, whatever. If you're asking me about like the filter of like, do I know the difference between wrong and right and whatever? I'm
Obviously, I do. That's why
I
decided to
selected
do
you
the-
as a victim. You're a sap.
That's why I know it's wrong.
That's why I know it, because you're not going to do anything about
you're
it.
helpless
because you're
against
there.
what I wanna do.
You're helpless, and you can't. You feel bad for me because I'm your child.
Oh my God, this is
Exactly.
insane.
I was having them about
Yes,
that.
Of course, I know
Me
it's
and
bad.
Ember.
I chose you as a
I'm
victim.
on Ember's wavelength.
Bro, she's too aware of what's going on in the world. It's insane.
Kids are way more aware than what
So
we give them
smart.
credit for.
Crazy. Okay,
Speaking of children,
The Bachelor,
Bachelor.
with Clayton. Thoughts on what are your thoughts on Clayton as a person?
well, I think we're getting back to some old school reality TV. There's a whole
Get rid of all this
bag
maturity.
of craziness.
Get rid of all this maturity.
I'm done with maturity.
Last season was like mature adults finding love. It's like, let's get back to the
I
trash.
don't want anyone from a liberal city.
I don't want anyone with a
small
good
town.
head on their shoulders. I want people.
I don't want a single person cast from this show whose town has a population of over 6,000.
I want people.
I want some fucked up shit to come out on public. I want on live TV or whatever this is. What do you call this? Cable television?
Save a horse, ride a cowboy
Whatever.
or cowgirl.
Yeah, just whatever. I don't want people to be self-aware anymore.
No more lawyers.
I'm so happy about it. Literally, episode 1, we have a girl who's like, I hate him. And then he's
Yeah.
like, so you said you hate me? And she's like, no,
Yeah.
I don't hate you. And they have like how many clips of her saying it? I'm just like, yes, dude, this is what I'm here for.
Yeah, I loved it. What are your thoughts
time.
on Clayton?
Very Gaston.
It's very Gaston
Yeah.
without the like personality.
He's also
though.
ridiculously nice.
so nice.
Ridiculously
He's
nice.
so
like
small
a
town
victim
nice
of
guy.
his niceness.
Yeah.
Which I feel really, I'm like, that's something I think about where I'm like, how much of his life is going to be like from this like small town experience of like, you just have to accept these things and you're going to find a way to make it
Yeah.
work, as opposed to like, dude, you do not have to put up with that.
Also,
You
like,
easily just like,
yeah.
you don't need to deal with that at all. You could just go find something that does work and checks all your boxes
Yeah.
and then make it work with the person, with that person, because
And-
you can.
Small town too. Like every person you know has like a spouse and 3 kids. So there's also this pressure to be like,
Just doing that.
I like him crying, being like, I want a wife and a family and kids. Like there's that pressure too of like
how many people were just like, more than ever for my entire life, I just want to be someone's wife and have kids,
it's, like,
or I just want to be
weird.
married and have kids.
It's so funny. I will say to all the
What are you
listeners,
talking
it's
about?
funny to us only because we live in Los Angeles, which is the most antithesis of that. Everyone's like, why would I do any of that? How's that going to help my career? You know what I mean? So it's funny to hear these people be like, it's all I've ever dreamed about. I'm always like, wow, like people out here are just so different that way. Like they're like, that's the last thing I'm doing.
The other thing is like, we're not like, it's not from when me and Evan talk shit about our kids or the situations that we're in, it's not because we're like, we don't want to be dads. Like I always wanted to be a dad. I just wanted to accomplish like 1,000,001 things and then become a dad at like 45. I didn't want to just wake up one day and be like, surprise, you're going to be a dad.
You want what you currently have.
be
You
like, but
just
I'm in the-
disagree with the order.
What do you mean I'm going to be a dad? I'm in the middle of a whole bunch of things.
Right,
I have
right.
all these other projects
I
and
have
now you're
$1
going to drop
billion
this one.
to make. I wonder how am I
Literally,
gonna,
I'm on my mission to achieve $1 billion.
I'm not quite there, but now you're doing
It's
this.
not going to happen.
Right.
But now it's certainly not going to happen.
Right.
Thanks. A whole lot. That's my issue.
Right.
And then when I hear these people who have I'm just like, you are so naive. You have no concept of what you're actually talking about.
But maybe they
do in some way.
No, but maybe it's like there's a simplicity, like there's a beauty to the simplicity of it, where it's just like all I want is a kid and a house and I'm just chilling and it's simple. Like there's something to the beauty of the simplicity of that, where it's like maybe we overcomplicate it.
I think it's
with like I have to accomplish this before this, and have this, and it's like
I think they're saying things. There's a lot of unspokens in that, where it's like, for instance, you know, if before I had children, if I were asked, do I want kids? I'd be like, absolutely. I definitely want to be a dad.
Same.
But on these terms.
Right. Terms. Yeah.
And no one's discussing the terms of how badly they want to be married. What are the terms of your marriage? And everyone's talking about, I want to have kids. What are the terms of you imagining yourself having kids? Most likely, none of those things are actually going to be met by the time
it's like idolizing the marriage versus just meeting someone, then deciding, should we get married?
People are in love with an idea.
It's like the American dream. It's like the picket house with the whatever, right? As opposed to like, well, is your life miserable in the picket house with the spouse and the 2 kids, or is it like, yeah, right? It's the chicken before it's
rainbows.
It's the chicken before the egg kind of concept, right?
So that's what I'm always laughing about when I hear that stuff.
It's like, all I want to do is get married.
Just like you have no idea.
What does that mean? Yeah. All you want to do is sign a paper?
Or
like,
just
what is
like,
it? Yeah.
Why? What are you in such a rush over that for?
I mean, yeah, I think there is a lot of pressure to achieve this like archetype.
Do you have that? Do you ever have a thing where you're like, I just want that pair of shoes so bad, or I'm like looking at this watch, or I'm looking at this just like with this material thing where you're like, right. I just focus on it. Every time I go to my computer, I'm like looking up this picture of it.
I want it.
I suddenly just ordered it, and then you get it, and you're like, huh.
Every time
what I picture.
Every single time I've bought something that's like material that I really wanted, like within a week, I'm like, oh.
To everyone listening right now, that's what marriage and kids are going to be like.
Right.
Just
you're gonna get it and go, huh.
You're gonna raise them. You're gonna raise them your whole life. You're gonna bust your ass raising them your whole life, and then you're gonna turn around and they took $40 out of your wallet.
Yeah, they're gonna spit in your face and they're gonna lie about getting out of school.
They're gonna come home high and then lie to you about it and be like, "I'm not high." And
we kid. We're having fun. Everybody chill out.
God,
that's so funny. All right. Thoughts on Jesse Palmer, the host? I was a little bit like, he's a little Hollywood to me. He's a little like,
he's just a
little bit like, hello,
he's Chris Harrison 2.0. He's a younger, bigger, faster, stronger version of Chris Harrison.
Yeah, it's just a little bit robotic to me. Haha, here's a joke, haha. See, I think he's too good looking. I need someone to be more benign.
I don't think he's not compared to the Bachelor. He's not too good looking,
bro. I think he's better looking than Clayton.
You think he is?
Yeah, he's like older and like a little salt and pepper. I think he's better looking. Like I'm a little bit like, dude, I want someone benign. Like I want someone that like no one's like Chris Harrison is not a good looking guy. So he just was benign to me. He's like someone's dad at doing it. You know, it's a little bit like whatever. But when you have like a super good looking, strong, buff guy, I'm kind of like, I don't know. I just would.
What do you want, like Drew Carey?
There's no one wrong with it, but I'm also just kind of like, I'd prefer to have a little more of a benign figure.
Do you want like, what's the co-host for, I can't think of his name. Why can't I think of his name? Hannibal
Lecter?
No, not Hannibal Lecter. He'd be a terrible host.
He'd be eating everybody.
What the fuck is his name? He's on that weird like abstract comedy show with the dude. It was a cartoon, like an Adult Swim. Something Hannibal. I can't remember.
Hannibal Buress?
Yeah. Was someone like him to host?
Honestly, yeah. Like someone who's just kind of like chill, has a kind of a nice personality, and you don't, they're just kind of there, kind of like making it move along.
I was waiting in his intro when he was like, I've said whatever those words were a bunch of times. I really wanted him to say, and this could be the most dramatic season yet.
Yeah, right, which is what they always do.
That's his classic line. And I really was waiting for that classic line because I'm like, dude, that's the cheesy shit. Yeah. He didn't hit me with it. He came really, really close. He flirted the lines. Anyway, that's The Bachelor to me.
Yeah, no, it was fine. It was just like whatever to me. It was fine. And then I just know when they're gonna like getting together talking, it's just gonna be like, so how are you feeling? We're both supermen. It's just a little bit like, I like when it's a little bit like there's
keep petting this.
It's nice, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm like, but I'm like cool with it. It doesn't bother me. I just think he's a little too good looking for the position, to be honest with you.
You don't think Chris Harrison's handsome?
No. But someone like that, like, you know who I thought would have been the perfect guy would be Mark Wahlberg, not the actor, but the guy who was in the other Mark Wahlberg. He's amazing. The other Mark Wahlberg is, like, in my opinion, the best host of all time I've ever seen.
He would be fantastic in that other love show.
He's good looking, but he's not like that guy. You know, he's like Jesse Palmer's like a model. Mm-hmm. He's like a buff, like football model guy. You know what I mean? So I'm cool with it. He seems nice though. I will say he does seem kind of nice, and I'm like, it doesn't. he's good for it, but I just would prefer if he wasn't so good looking. Okay. Best entrance. Yeah.
Entrance. Okay, most striking entrance to me was Dr. Lingerie outfit.
Oh, okay. Yeah. What did you think about that? Would you have liked that?
Absolutely.
Other than the obvious reasons.
When you have 30 women, if you're going to date 30 women,
spice it up.
You got to appreciate the spice. Bathtub girl, I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah.
My favorite entrance though, hands down, was the massive truck.
When she crashed into the other one.
Loved it. I just wanted her to run it over. I like that stuff.
Okay. You like the shock.
I like a big truck. I like it. Yeah. I mean, that's the kind of thing where I'm like, if I knew that was her choice, I'd be even more into it. Cause I'd be like, cool. I'm not into, I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, like, I drive a truck, but I'm not like all about like, I just want a massive, like, big truck culture. But I'm like, dude, like,
it was a shocking move.
It was just, I mean, it just shows to me of like a fun side of personality where it's like, have you ever been to a monster truck show?
No, but I heard it's lit.
It's fucking awesome.
Right.
I went once just for fun with some friends.
I've almost gone a couple times and I was like, dude, this looks amazing.
It was incredible. It was like one of those things where like, dude, it's just hilariously dumb, but insanely fun. And everyone's on the same page. You're just like, it's ridiculous. And then you're like, oh, this is kind of boring, whatever. And then they launch like a 200-foot fireball.
Right.
In the middle of the stadium. You're like, oh my God. Like, you have my attention.
It's the Coliseum and entertain the masses.
If you like Marvel movies or big, dumb box office movies, you're going to love a monster truck show.
Got it.
You're going to like NASCAR Live. You're just going to
like F1 a lot. I follow F1 a lot. That's a little different.
You do?
Oh yeah.
That's just, I mean, that surprises me.
Every week. I watch the races. I follow all the people. I'm like super into it.
I like the Netflix behind the scenes show.
That's a great show.
Me and Becca's dad I scored some points watching that with him.
Did you like F1?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He likes sports in general.
Big fan of F1. I don't follow all sports, but I love F1 racing. Anyway, okay, so you like
that one stood out to me.
So mine was the opposite, only for this reason. So remember Rachel, the pilot? Do you remember how she was introed?
She's one of my tops.
Definitely. But do you remember how she was introed?
Where she was like with the planes?
No.
She was all sexy with the planes?
The old lady.
Oh yeah, she had the old lady come out and introduce her.
I thought that was the most unique intro anyone's ever had.
I loved it.
Because everyone's always crazy car, funny little thing. Like I'm on a tiny, I'm in a funny outfit and I'm on a tiny tricycle or I'm in a jacuzzi or whatever. And it's like, it's always a version of that. No one's ever had someone else come out and intro them. And it was an old lady too. So it was like very jarring for him. And then she kind of comes out. I just thought like, that took the cake to me to like the most unique I'd never seen.
So we're gonna have to be checking in with this. The moment she came out on screen, not the old lady, because I called Becca and I was like, Becca, like this old lady.
That's what I thought too.
I was like, whoa,
she's going for it.
I was like, what is going on here? I was like, she's kind of silver foxy.
She's kind of hot.
I was like, I might kind of keep her on because I'm like, this kind of kinky. This is
wild.
Cool. Yeah. And then, what's her name? The pilot?
Rachel.
Rachel comes out and Becca was like evil. Pure evil. The moment I was like, seriously? I was like, she's one of my top picks.
Oh, dude,
we're gonna have to find this because Becca's got deep intuition on these things.
No,
so we're gonna have to see. I was like, dude, she's a big one for me.
Big leader in the pack.
Her and Teddy are up in my top two. Teddy's intro cringed me way out.
But did you see how he reacted?
Bro,
he was in love. He was just like, I don't know what it is about her. Wow.
And I also liked their kiss scene.
It was the most natural.
It was very good.
He's head over heels for her.
He likes her. He genuinely, I think he likes the two of them. I did think Rachel and him's time together though was like so.
So let's get into, let's do.
It was very flirtatious in a way where I would be like, she'd easily be in my top picks.
Those are clearly top two for you. Do you have a top three?
No one's in the top. They're all in third position.
Okay, I have top three. Genevieve's my other third.
Genevieve's your third.
Yeah. So, let's go into the reasons why they're a top three.
Okay.
So Teddy. What do you think it is about Teddy that he likes?
I mean, there's a handful of things. I mean, Teddy's beautiful and she just seems like she's like got a really fun, laid back, effortless personality. If that makes sense. Like she'd be someone where it's like, I would literally not be concerned at all going anywhere or introducing her to anyone. You know, like there'd be no anxiety of
Remember
just
she's
like,
a virgin?
Really?
Yes, that was a part of the thing.
No, I missed that.
Yeah, because they were talking about how, what would you do if you go to fantasy suites? And she's like, yeah, I'm a virgin and I'm saving myself for marriage. He doesn't know that yet.
Mm-mm.
So that's interesting as well.
That is.
See, it was interesting when I thought, I was like, she's definitely a front runner, obviously just for the fact of like what happened. Like she got the rose, like he was obsessed with her. But I thought it was interesting because she was by far the youngest acting of the whole group. Very like early 20s, kind of fun, like just kind of, I don't know, you know, everywhere like there was a little bit more seriousness around and a little more like, she just didn't seem like she was on a date. She almost seems like she was just talking to a buddy. And so I think that kind of just loose funness probably was refreshing to him, where everyone else kind of had this like, Clayton, you are tall, you are beautiful, and you are the man. And she was just a little bit more like, she didn't have the lines or the moves or the whatever. She just was like being herself. I think being herself was like probably what shone through for me. What do you think? What's your vibe on Rachel?
I was about to ask you, do you think Rachel's dated a million guys?
No, I don't get the vibe that she's dated a million guys. I just think Teddy screams and she hasn't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not compared to Rachel. It's just more like she really isn't that
I'll just
person.
never get over her intro. My name's Teddy, and I just wish you could be my teddy bear. Dude, she said that, and I literally
It's
like
cringe
turned
city.
around, and I was just like, turn it off.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't. And then
Yeah.
I just immediately was like, thank you, someone else has come out. And then she was revealing, and then my attitude changed later.
She's very beautiful. She's super, super good looking, but she's also just like free with it.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't
She's
feel
effortless.
She's effortless. She doesn't feel like put together, or like she just feels like I'm just like kind of like vibing, and it's just
Now-
like I think that fear, like freeness, is very attractive.
What
as well.
strikes me on Rachel though is I'm like, she is like, I think she's looking for guys who check all her boxes. And she's very like clear on like, this is what I want my life to look like.
Mm.
And I love that. I'm like, I think that's cool.
Right.
It's like, I'm just like very into that. And also it's like, there's all the things she has are impressive of
Bro.
the like the flight school stuff.
She's
all of
like,
that.
and she's got this energy where it's like her like smile. She smiles with her eyes, and like her whole thing is a smile.
Dude,
and then
and
she's
he
like,
was lost.
and then she's like a pilot too. So it's like, because
Well,
it's
that's
also
what
not.
he was trying to keep up with her when
Oh,
she was
yeah,
like
yeah.
traveling.
And he's
Traveling's
like, I
extremely
haven't
important to me.
traveled much.
You see how nervous she got when she was like, "Do you like to travel? Is that something that's
And
important
he's like,
to you?"
oh, I haven't done it much, but I'd be down to try. I was like,
He was like, "Don't fuck this up."
right. He's like, I don't know what to do here. I think that's another reason why he likes Teddy so much. Is Teddy's just kind of like, so anyway, what are we doing today? Hanging out? And she and Rachel's a little intimidating, dude. Like a pilot, gorgeous woman. It's a little bit like, holy shit. Like,
Well, that's where I was like, I think she has dated a bunch of dudes, but she's just dropping dudes like who aren't fitting in her
Yeah.
equation, aren't matching
oh,
up
you
with what
know
she
her
wants.
role. Like the amount of guys trying to date her is off the
Yeah,
chain.
and she's just like whatever. But I think that's also where the in the long term, easy doesn't always pan out, because easy becomes predictable and becomes repetitive and becomes boring.
Here's my counter to that.
Okay.
I think he's predictable and boring.
Mm.
So I don't think he's this. Personally, I like Rachel. I think Rachel's too complex of a character for him. I think him and Teddy kind of match because they're both kind of simple and fun and basic and just kind of like, we're cute together.
Mm-hmm.
I
Who's
think
your
that like,
third?
okay, Genevieve.
Yeah.
Genevieve is so, she's like, more than any single person at that place, she is by far the most comfortable. If you watch it, she's got her hand on his shoulder, but it's not like over like doing it like, say, "Bye, baby." It's just super calm, super chill, and just kind of sitting there, and she's charming. She's absolutely stunning. And she's got this effortless way. And then you look at what she does for a living. Bartender. It's like in West Hollywood or something. And it's like, got it. Like you're literally a professional at within 2 seconds making someone feel amazing.
Yeah.
I was watching them talk and I was like drawn into her conversation, being like, oh, really? You feel that way? You know what I mean? I was like,
I thought what
in
she was
minutes.
saying in her one-on-one or whatever in her.
That's what I'm talking about, the one-on-one.
Not
little
the
moment.
I guess not the moment. Not what do they call the ones where they're talking to the producers and the camera?
Oh, the ITMs.
Yeah, I thought what she was saying about her moments of like doubt in the ITMs when she was like comparing herself to the other woman was really interesting.
Really
of
interesting.
like seeing that being like, though, like I will never get over that factor of the show of like what that energy of competitiveness does to like their psyche through this whole process.
Oh yeah. Messes
Like
with
one
your
of the
head.
girls, I can't remember who's just another one of the blonde women, one of the hundreds of blonde women.
Dude,
in
he
this season.
definitely
I
put
don't
on
know-
his application blonde, please.
I literally couldn't understand. I couldn't differentiate so much of the cast.
A lot of them just look like real estate agents.
Anyway, one of them got the rose, and there was this like moment of just like, yes, I've been selected. Where it was like there was nothing about him in that moment to me. It was just simply like
Teddy got the rose,
I
right?
get to continue on the show.
Teddy got the. Oh, you mean when
They're
he
doing the
hands out the
ceremony.
rose ceremony? Right,
Yeah.
right. It's a little bit like, yes, I've not been rejected.
Dude,
as
I
opposed
was
to
like, that's where if I was thinking about if I was a bachelor, I'd have a fucking notepad
Of, like,
all the
see how
time.
they
And I'd
react.
be like, oh, I'm putting that one down in my notepad.
right. That was weird.
Yeah, storing that memory for later.
But I think that's the archetype thing of like, I'm one step closer to marriage, as opposed to like, I really like this guy.
that's the shit that gets me like.
Okay. So let's get into real quick your MVP. You're just kind of like overall stole the show, or what do you think was the most interesting person?
My favorite was the villain from the first episode.
Claire.
Yeah, who was just like,
I think it's Claire.
I loved what she was saying about him because it's true. Where she's like, I hate him. He's just like
they did the date with like the whole the big old date.
no, where she was just like, he's so nice.
The tailgate thing. Yeah.
The blonde woman who was just like,
they were doing the tailgate date.
oh yeah,
And
yeah,
then remember, then he got stolen, and she flipped.
yeah. But I loved what she was saying about him to the other women, where they're like, what? And she's like, I just hate him. And what she said was, he's so nice and boring, and
I
he's
could eat him
just
alive,
so
yeah.
America, and like, I don't need some like Mr. America pageant boy or like whatever.
Yeah, she went hard.
She was saying that stuff where I was like, that's exactly what we're saying about him on the show. You're like, he's simple and boring and all these things,
Yeah.
where it's just like, he's just a handsome guy
Nice guy. There's nothing wrong with him at all. I just think he's not a complex character.
so far.
Right.
We don't know shit.
So far,
but-
obviously, all we can do is do.
I mean, we didn't really even learn stuff from him on on Michelle's season.
He even
He's just
said
a
8
handsome,
minutes.
super nice guy.
Right. What else could you want?
And I love that was her critique of him, just being like, where she's like, yeah, and she's saying everything she can. And I'm like, okay, this is so many layers of like self-defense coming out here
Yeah.
of like, you're just going to execute this whole opportunity and make it look like it's all your choice that none of this is panning out.
Yeah, I also liked
Respect.
how. Yeah, because it was definitely a defense mechanism because it's like he gets stolen, right, and then he leaves, and she gets pissed that he left.
Yeah.
And then so that she starts launching an assault on him as a person, and then I love because it started as like, you know what, we just don't really see eye to eye, and then like 2 minutes later, it's like he is just boring, and then like 1 minute later, it's like he's just Mr. America, boring as shit. I could eat him alive, and then 2 minutes later, I actually hate him. Like she was
Literally.
like she was starting to spiral, dude. Like it was
Completely.
like it started
And
kind of like
then-
okay, and then by the end, it was like fuck him.
And then there's this thing where it's all these girls are like, oh my God, like, what do you mean, fuck him? Like, what do you mean?
We're
Like, why are
here
you
for him. We
critiquing him?
love
This
him.
guy's supposed to be perfect. And they're all like, we're on team whatever.
And they turned
like,
on her quick.
And they all turned, and I was like, that's the shit though. Everything she's saying about him is real.
Right.
Even though she's bananas, her take on those faults of like, basically like, I talked to him, there's nothing there.
Or her opinion of him, yeah.
Yeah, of just being like, and which is something real where you can talk to people, and in that first moment you're talking to them, it's not like
Like,
you
you're like,
size them
no. up
totally. You just know if there's anything between the two of you, and it's like
She went
no,
about it crazy, but I did kind of appreciate the fact that like we're very rarely do people leave because they're not interested. And it was a
Totally.
little bit like she was kind of making it known, like, you know what, to be honest with you, like I don't like this guy.
Dude, it
as
was some
opposed to
clean-
everyone just gets wrapped up in the whole like we love him, right? You know?
it was some Queen V energy, and I liked it.
Yeah, definitely.
I liked it being present on the show. I'm like, that's what the show needs. We need like
Yeah.
10 Victorias every season.
Nothing like him.
There's nothing. There's such rare gems just blessing our screen.
Yeah.
So that was my
Okay.
MVP moment right there, because she made the episode worth it to me.
Got it.
Otherwise, I was just like, I don't know. Here we go. It's another season of The Bachelor.
Right.
Here's episode 1. I know what's going on.
Yeah.
I see my top contenders. I'm interested to see what happens next. But yeah, she was my big. Who was your MVP?
My MVP was Sally,
Okay.
the girl who pulled him aside before the whole thing went down?
Really?
Here's why
I wanted to ask about that.
So here's why she's my MVP. She pulled the biggest power move of all time.
You think so?
She gets him before the ceremony. So while everyone's waiting to meet him, she demands his. So like, I feel like most of the time what would have happened is she would have gotten out of the car, done the ceremony, been hanging out, talking with him, and then at one point in time been like, this is too much for me, I gotta go. She goes, I need to talk to him before any other woman talks to him, get a vibe on him, then decide if I want to stick around or not. She gets the meeting, gets this guy to give her the first impression rose while never meeting any of the other girls, then goes, never mind, I'm leaving. Like, dude, I don't care who you are. That is maybe the most legendary move in the history of the show. Like, you got a first impression rose before he met a single other woman.
And then left.
And then didn't even stay.
See, I have to agree that's a power move.
That's diabolically powerful.
I have to agree that's a power move.
Not like you got to talk to him and then he tried to convince you to stay. He gave you the rose, bro.
I was bothered. I appreciate that. I do. I have an appreciation for it. I may have to reevaluate my MVP situation. I'll be thinking about that on my drive home. I will say something that bothered me about that. If it was me personally, if she had come up and was divulging all of this to me, and then tried to reach and hold my hand, I would have been like, what the fuck? Like, I'm so guarded on those. I'm like, I'm open to the conversation and connection,
like,
but I'm
who
like,
are you?
I'm not just going to hold your hand because you're sob storying me.
Yes. Well, yeah, it's so
I'd be like,
manipulative.
you don't just get my empathy because you have a sad. I'd be like, I don't know. Like, I mean, you can get my like.
I don't even know you.
I'd be like, don't fucking touch me.
Well, it's just like the funny thing about the whole thing is like I don't.
That'd be my internal.
Yeah, I've never even met you.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're already crying about your ex to me? Like, what are we talking about?
I know. I'd be like,
so this girl is crying about her ex to you, and then you give her the rose. Like, either that's the most just like Prince Charming complex ever.
I was like, you literally have no idea who this woman is, what you're doing.
What's happening?
All she's telling you are a bunch of red flags, in my opinion, which is that like she's clearly all over the place and she's a massive emotional mess and does not need to be on the show right now. Dude, that's everything I took away from the conversation.
100%. I completely agree.
I was just weirdly being like, why are you crying about your failed engagement while holding his hand?
You know what it was to me?
That was the stuff. I will not get over that.
It was like, I'm special shit. It was like, I'm so special and I'm going to blow off the entire way this show works and see if you deserve me. Because my feelings are so important, I'm willing to derail the entire shit. Like, it's very princess. But here's what I thought was interesting.
Power move, nonetheless.
That's why I didn't say I like her or that I thought it was a good, like a quality person move. I just thought it was a legendary move. And the fact that she pulled it off and got the rose was like wild. Two things though that are sad, and one is awesome. Best thing that could have happened to him is she left.
Yes.
Could you imagine he goes through the whole process and goes, by the way, there's no first impression rose because I gave it to some random woman who met me before. They'd be like, what?
Worst thing for us as the audience.
Worst thing for us, the audience, because that would have been hellstorm. If it would have been like, what? So she just came to your room before. They would have hated her.
They would have hated her.
It would have been
episode 2 would have been crazy completely.
If
blood
she
wouldn't
was
have
like,
even made it in the streets. Blood in the
I
hallways.
just said hi to him and then I got the rose.
Welcome
like,
to the show.
Welcome to the show, baby. Like, are you kidding me? It would have been a night. But then her, she would have been like, why do you guys hate me? Like, I've never done anything to you. And she's one of those, like.
And then she would have had like a best friend simp who would be just like helping her the whole time and never
like,
progressing her own relationship.
Tell them to leave me alone. They're abusing
That's
me.
one of the traits. That's one of the tropes I'll never get over is like this pecking order.
Yeah. Oh, there's a total pecking order.
There's going to be, we're going to call.
There's minions.
So I can't wait to see who it is that falls in like the friend support role.
Yeah.
Who's doesn't really have any chance with him at all.
Right.
But her friend does. And she's just emotionally supporting her friend through the process. And is just going to get strung along with her friend for a few episodes. We're going to need to call that one.
Yeah.
Because that's going to happen.
There's going to be some minions.
Yeah.
The minions are classic because the minions are the people that know they're not going to win. But they're like, I want to hang on to this helicopter as long as I can.
And
So
then
if
they're
I
gonna-
kind of be that person that kind of hangs out around, I don't make enough noise to get canceled, but I also don't make no noise so that
They're also going to stir the pot for us when things get boring.
they're the one that'll go to Clayton and be like, I just wanted to alert you that she was saying this about you. And it's like, and then he goes, thank you so much. I really appreciate
Well,
that.
and that's where your number 3, I thought, risked it a little bit. Because what's your number 3's name again?
Genevieve.
I'm so bad. Genevieve went up and told him that
No, I don't think it was Genevieve.
it wasn't Genevieve.
No, who told him about Claire? Yeah, I don't
you're
remember.
so good with the names.
Well, I wrote them down
It's
because I was
infuriating.
like thinking about it, but like it was. I don't remember who it was. But it was like I don't remember who it was, but it
I could have
wasn't.
sworn it was Genevieve.
No, it wasn't Genevieve. I could almost swear that it wasn't. If it was, then that would bum me out because I'd be like, I do not like people who get involved in that game. You just focus
Do
on
your thing.
on the task at hand. The second you start mentioning drama, you are now in the friend zone. It just every season you see it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone who does that, you're now the gossiper in their brain. Doesn't matter guy or girl. You're the gossiper, and the person immediately friend zones you because they're like, "Oh, you're that way." Like, well, did you hear this? It's like you're immediately gone.
I don't know if I would friend zone him.
I'm not saying you would, but that happens.
What would you
every
do? Would you
single
gossip
time.
him or would you tease him?
I
and
wouldn't
be
like him. I wouldn't like it.
Be like, come here, keep
No.
you under my wing.
Yeah,
You tell
no.
me everything that's going on. You tell me everything that's happening in the house.
Cat.
You tell me everything happening in the
all
house.
right, go,
What did
get
they
out of
say?
here, go.
What did they say?
They're like a crow. They like hear it and then
I
they
want to
bring
know
it
what the
back.
producers said.
What did they say about me?
Go get close.
What did they say? Did they say I was buff?
Report back.
No.
Tell me what that producer said.
No, but I wouldn't like it because I just think that like generally that if you're already that upset with what everybody else is doing, then it's like that's going to be your life. You know, you're going to be that person that's just like, did you hear? And you're like, that's going to control you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway,
We're cutting that back. That's one of our New Year's resolutions.
gossip less.
Just not talk shit about people.
Sure. Well, we're starting off bad.
Well, the Bachelor people, they signed
They're
up
not
for
real
it.
people.
No, they signed up
Yeah,
for
sure,
it.
sure.
Being
Yeah.
held accountable for something you do on television, I don't feel any sympathy for you. I don't care if you're caught up in the situation. It's like, oh, surprise, surprise, you were filmed and recorded
And the
saying and
point of
doing
the
dumb stuff.
You're absolutely right.
And you knew that you were going to do it. It's like, yeah, okay, there's things that happen, whatever. But I'm just like, got to understand the risks of everything going involved. And you got to stay on your game.
People get off their game quick.
People get off their game immediately. I don't understand how this happens.
They always do it, and we love it.
How does it happen?
They just forget the camera.
There's not a single moment that we do this that I'm unaware of cameras and mic and headphones.
right.
Even when we're comfortable and we're just like
Right.
being
There's
ourselves.
I can't do that crazy thing. I can't punch Gray in the face if he bothers me. Like
No.
that's not going to work. You know what I mean?
I'm
It's like,
also kind of filtering.
always
I'm saying what I'm fine to hear back.
being a human being is like filtering. These people don't filter on their own national television. Just lying, just immediate lies,
That's the stuff I've never.
knowing it's
like,
being recorded. Well, I'm
they,
looking
though?
forward to this. I'm looking forward to this season. I think it's gonna be fun. I like the fact that we got some characters already, and I think it's gonna be fun.
I do. Anyone
But,
stand
by the
out
way-
anyone stand out as a liability to you?
No.
Too early?
Too early. I mean, the fact that Claire got boosted already, she was like the only liability. Now she's gone. So I hope some more people come to the front. There's a lot of pretty ladies and a lot of seemingly great personalities too. There was another one who seemed really fun.
I wish the 63-year-old was on. What'd you think of the woman who was 33 and called herself a cougar?
That was weird.
Like, dude, I'm 32. I was like, what are you talking about?
What am I?
What's a guy? It's
lion?
just a cat?
I mean, the final announcements, I know you guys all know this, but this is the first episode of weekly episodes.
Oh my gosh, yes, that's right.
Which is huge.
Every single week, here we go.
So we got coming up. We got relationship advice coming up. We got plug something coming up. We got new segments coming up. It's gonna be awesome.
Which,
I'm
by
really
the way,
excited.
you guys are drowning me in packages.
Oh, we got tons
Literally
of
drowning
packages.
me. My entire, my office is now just plug something packages.
It's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, keep sending them.
We love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. 2022, here we come.
Here we go. Big year. Big year. Omicron with the bros.
Right in his face.
Waka!
Peace and love. Bye. Chat soon.